This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky. Joining me today is Mark Metz, who is the director of the DanceFirst Association, as well as the publisher of Conscious Dancer magazine, which is the print magazine for DanceFirst members, and also the UpShift Guide, a free global digital guidebook to the entire movement. So welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and share what I'm up to with your community.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm excited to hear all about these amazing projects in which you're working. But I'd love to start first with what dance has meant to you through your own personal life.
Well, thanks for starting there, because I've been at every age and stage in my life, dance has been a major influence. And I've had my feet in, when it was punk rock bands, and then it was, in the 90s it was, full moon parties and the rave and all the electronic music when all that started off, and rock and roll and all this stuff. But it's always seemed to me to be, dance culture has always seemed to be sort of where the froth on the wave of evolution is kind of happening. And so as time went on for me, being involved in different dance things, and and watching what happened with electronic music in the 90s, and anyway, I started to DJ, and I started to learn how to DJ myself. And in the 90s, I started writing about the cultural differences and the social implications behind DJ culture as opposed to, say, rock and roll or something like that. So it's always been very interested in that. But in the later part of the 90s, in the mid to later part of the 90s, we started to travel around and go to the retreat centers and hot springs and institutions here in California. And we just kind of in the habit of proposing to them, hey, would you mind if we, can we get on the calendar and bring our turntables and come and have a dance, So we really, at Harbin Hot Springs and at Esalen Institute down in Big Sur, and, a couple other places like that, we started just kind of like bringing this crazy dance energy into the environment where people are doing consciousness work and yoga and this kind of thing all day. And it was really a refreshing experience. And that's when I really started to notice, wow, there's this whole other thing going on, and that's when I discovered things that had been going on for a long time, like 5 rhythms, and some of the other kind of mind, body, spirit movement practices. And, I would think at the time, it's like, wow, this is almost like life coaching through movement or something, so I started to get really fascinated with it. And several years went by where I was involved in this sort of thing and really kind of mapping the field and learning about it and DJing at more of these kind of, no shoes, no booze kind of yoga kind of parties, and really enthused about it. And at a certain point, I had actually made cards for myself as a DJ, and I had called myself it was kind of a joke, but there on my card it says conscious dance facilitator. And then, of course, my main job title that I still love is cultural engineer. So that's sort of when the term conscious dance started coming around. And then a couple of years after that, it was in 2007, with my former partner, I was at Harbin Hot Springs, and it just popped into my head, Conscious Dancer. And I was like, that's a magazine. That is that's a cultural umbrella. That's a real project. And we were both at a time in our life where we wanted to reinvent, and we were looking to be entrepreneurs, and we had no clue what publishing was all about or what the business model of making a magazine would be like. And this was in 2007, and of course we all know what happened in 2008. Great time to start a print publication. But we did, and we prevailed, and over 7 years we produced 21 different editions, hard copy, very beautiful, full color, 4-color print. And I've been blessed all these years, and actually here's a great photograph of Gabrielle Roth, who in some ways is like the mother to the entire movement in a way, with 5 rhythms. Always been very blessed to work with a brilliant art director and energy psychologist who's one of my best friends, and her name is Laura Chirelia, and she's been our creative director and helped design it, and also really helped kind of upshift all the editorial over the years. So yeah, so from 2007 to 2013, we printed a magazine on a somewhat quarterly schedule, and it was a matter of printing something and shipping it around the country and kind of hoping that people would buy stuff from our advertisers. And the business model was a little much more driven by passion and creativity than any real sense. And somewhere along the line, about 2 years ago, I really realized that we needed to make a major shift, and that selling our demographic to advertisers was not at all the same as serving our teachers and serving the membership and helping them grow their practice. So out of a number of different things, I came up with the term Dance First. The motto for our association is movement before medication. The real cause behind our association is, getting dance at the forefront of, kids on pharmaceuticals in school and obesity and all these things in our society, where it's like if dance came first, then the more drastic solutions later would be much less. So, once upon a time, someone asked me to define what conscious dance means, and I played with that, and I realized the definition I've come up with that I like is movement with an intention towards greater awareness. So what we publish now for the general public is called the UpShift Guide, and it's free. It's available on our website, consciousdancer.com, and so the main link on the homepage is consciousdancer.com UpShift Guide. And what this is we've pulled together listings and resources from our years with the magazine, along with full-page portfolios on all of our members. So it functions as almost like a consumer reports of the movement in a way. So I invite everybody to take a look at it. And, when a lot of times people in the mainstream think, oh, isn't that kind of like Zumba? And it's like, look, there's 100 more things there. There's so much more to it. So with Dance First Association and the UpShift Guide, the UpShift Guide is like a welcome mat to the world, while the association is really about serving the teachers and the modalities that are growing these practices around the world. And we're growing fast, and it's really exciting, and I just really want to invite people to download the UpShift Guide, and you can find out everything about what we're doing there and learn a lot more.
Those are great projects. I love both names. UpShift, very dynamic, and Conscious Dancer, two very powerful words put together. And, I think of, our bodies in motion. We're in motion constantly, our entire lives. And I know Conscious Dancer magazine, a lot of your readers are professional dancers, and then there are people, like me, that maybe I like to move, and I just like to move my body. There are some people that may be hesitant to kind of, come and look at your magazine because they think, oh, I can't dance. But that's not the case at all, right? I mean, this is for everyone.
Absolutely not. And we actually focus much more on the ordinary, everyday dance of life with people. There's plenty of media out there about all the wonderful performance and ballet and choreographers of the world, and it's kind of a different world. I love you brought that up where people say, oh, I don't dance or I can't dance, because my answer to that is like, well, can you sign your name? Do you have a signature?
Right.
Because everybody's got a signature. Everybody's got a signature move.
Right.
And you can just start there, and there's no wrong way to do it. There's no right way to do it. It's more a matter of showing up and seeing what's there. It's about opening up an inquiry, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping launch new modalities and helping people with modalities grow, because there's room for thousands of modalities. When you're talking about movement, and when I say modality, I mean like a branded form of movement or something that's like there's a training involved and it's specific, not like a dance form, which I also love too, but a form I would define as like salsa or tango or, something like that. Something more like Zumba or Five Rhythms or Nia, that's a modality, which is, like jazzercise, for instance.
Right.
But yeah, there's something for everybody, and I really encourage people. That's what the UpShift guide is about. It's like, find your cup of tea, take a look, find something that resonates for you. There's programs for kids, for old folks, people with Parkinson's disease, everything. It doesn't matter. There's someone out there willing to give you permission to move.
So there's something for everyone at any age.
Absolutely. And what you said earlier, I love it. You said Bodies in Motion, and that was the name of one of our first demos that we put together. But recently in my newsletter, I used the line, I said, rhythm is the operating system of the human body.
Yeah.
And so, all these practices are just about helping us kind of return to that birthright where we access so much wisdom and joy and connection and present moment awareness through movement.
Yeah, so valuable in so many ways. Yeah. And also, I'd like to know right now if there was a message that you had in your heart that you would like to share with people who are listening to this today, what would that message be?
Show up. Let yourself try something. Don't get in your own way. Know that no matter what it looks like to you, it's all right. That could be, and for myself, it's actually interesting to share this. Sometimes people ask where my real early dance transformation was, and it was in my shop on Haight Street. I had a store in the Haight-Ashbury clothing store, and I'd been going through some pretty interesting years in my life existentially, and I was really ready for some relief and transformation. And house music, I'd never heard it before. Electronic music hadn't made that leap to me yet. And these people came in my shop and were like, "Will you sell these tapes under the counter? We're DJs from England, and we just moved here. This was 1990, 1991. I was like, "Sure." And I started playing these tapes, and I'm like, "What is this music? What is this? And why?" And so anyway, I would stay in my store at night with the lights off and dance by myself in the back of the room, just into a pool on the floor. And I didn't know there was other people I could dance with. I didn't know there were even, I thought this was like just something people were trading this music like underground or something. We didn't have the internet back then. But the point is, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It could be an authentic movement group with, people sitting in chairs doing breath work. It could be ecstatic dance with 700 people in a ballroom. It could be in your living room with one of the programs you find online in the UpShift guide. Many people are delivering things online now and working with people remotely, and it's a really exciting world, and a lot of things are coming forth.
And I love the point that you made, because a lot of people feel that dancing is all about dancing with others, with other people, either, partner dancing or just dancing in a room with people, which is wonderful and a wonderful way to connect. But dancing is also so much about connecting with our inner selves and our own beautiful bodies that we have. So thank you so much for that message. And Mark, tell people, how would they best get in contact with you?
Very easy, consciousdancer.com, just like it sounds, CONSCIOUSDANCER, consciousdancer.com, / UpShift guide, of course, to get our guidebook, but the website has everything there. My email's mark@consciousdancer.com. We're on Facebook with the Conscious Dancer magazine page. We tweet on Twitter. We're on Pinterest, all the usual suspects. And I send out, one last thing, I send out a very popular newsletter every Monday called Monday Love, where I focus on a different member of our association from somewhere else in the world and do a little personal spotlight on them and talk about one of their offerings. And I get thank you letters every week. People love my newsletter. It feels really good to be sending out something valuable that people really like to receive. So I'd like to invite everybody to sign up for that right on our website. And I just really welcome everybody to our ever expanding circle. My goal has been to empower dance and movement people around the world, and I just, weaving an ever wider net, under our kind of banner of inclusiveness. So
yeah, oh, beautiful. And Monday Love, what a great way to start off the week. And also with Conscious Dancer and UpShift, really great, strong work.
Thank you.
So, Mark Metz, thank you so much for joining us today on 8 Minutes of Awesome.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you.